thinks that Trump's going to be remembered as a great president?
Look, I think Trump will be remembered as a president with really unique ability to understand the policy situation in the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, what he said and what most rich people keep saying about Trump being a good president is exactly why we've got people saying, eat the rich. That's why we got it. If the rich really want to help middle class and poor, instead of throwing us breadcrumbs, they would be giving up power, because justice is not just charity, ladies and gentlemen. It is shared ownership in American democracy. And in this video, I'm going to break down what this rich guy was saying. Cohen, he was on Squawk Box this morning, and I actually like him. I think he's a good dude. But him, along with several other billionaires, they want to try to help the middle class and poor through a way that doesn't really help us. They want to use the old tropes of trickle down economics. That shit does not work. They want to do philanthropy, donations that give them tax breaks. We've seen it, charity instead of justice. We've seen all this stuff that they try to do to make themselves feel better instead of giving the real investments we need. So let's listen to the rest of what he had to say, and then we'll finish breaking down more things that they can do to help us. But the line about Trump being one of the best presidents ever, history has already said from his first term, he's one of the top 3 worst presidents. So let's get to what else he said, and then we'll break it down.
Like Ken thinks that Trump's going to be remembered as a great president?
Look, I think Trump will be remembered as a president with really unique ability to understand the policy situation in the United States. And he'll be remembered as someone that attacked some of the thorniest policies that people were not willing to deal with. And as time goes on, people will remember the policy change and the effect. They will not remember how we got here. And I think as time goes on, the policy effect is very bullish for his brand and his reputation. And having forgot how we got here will help his brand and reputation.
It's like sees a problem and he's like a bull in the china closet, basically. Right? Things break.
Yeah, but at the
maybe
end
with a hammer.
At the end of the day, presidents are remembered for what they got accomplished or what they didn't get accomplished. And I think we will see what he's done, with getting the taxes extended, what he's done in the Middle East, what he's been able to do with foreign policy, what he's been able to do with foreign leaders, the fact he's been able to get NATO to pay for their own security as well. There are a lot of very positive things that if you were just writing the list of things that the Trump administration has gotten done, there'd be a lot of things in the very positive column if you could only write concrete things. If you were writing emotional things, people might write a lot of emotional things in the negative column, but guess what? 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the only column people are going to remember is the column of actual achievements.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is just patently false. When you think of the achievements of presidents, you also have to weigh the bad shit they did. When you think of Richard Nixon, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Does it come to your mind of the great achievements Richard Nixon did, like the EPA? No. Watergate comes to your mind. When you think of the 3 worst presidents we have, and Trump is on the list, James Buchanan failed to prevent the Civil War, supported Dred Scott decision, worsening racial relations. Then you got Andrew Johnson, who took over after Lincoln and worked against Reconstruction, vetoed civil rights protections for newly freed blacks over and over again. He was fucking racist. Then you got Trump on top of that, is in the top 3 worst presidencies, 2 times impeached. January Capitol 6, he incited a riot, and his legacy is already clouded with divisiveness, law breaking, democratic erosion, and the man is convicted of sexual abuse. And you mean to tell me that all those things are going to get outweighed by the business things he's done? Ladies and gentlemen, no. As a matter of fact, middle class and poor tend to get wound up against rich people because they say such tasteless things that are out of context for what the middle class and the poor need going forward. We need social justice. Social justice equals financial justice. Trump's not doing any of that. As a matter of fact, he's making that worse. Now, while this guy is rich, and like I said, I do like him, he's living in a different playing field from what everybody else gets to live into, ladies and gentlemen. He's not having to deal with what inflation does to people and your home and household. He's shielded from the social aspect of what Trump is doing because number one, he's a white guy. Number two, he's rich. Number three, he's got power. Then he's Jewish. And a lot of the problems that middle class and poor have had, especially with Trump, is because Trump has deregulated so many different things that the business class like, and support for the middle class has just been completely forgotten, which is what on the back end of policy is what always infuriates middle class and poor, because it seems like what we need gets trampled on. If the rich really want to help and make this Trump presidency good, and stop lying to us because the only perspective they're sitting in is how Trump has made life better for them. Now, I agree that there are things that need, but not all the things Trump have done supersede all the bad he's did. He's not going to be remembered for all the good he's done in business unless you're somebody who's benefiting from it, which most of us aren't. He's going to be remembered for inciting a riot on January 6th, and he somehow or another continued to get away with it. He's going to be remembered for the Epstein files, which in most people's estimation, child pedophilia is something that most people can pretend or at least admit is wrong. Hence, we had a guy who thought Hillary Clinton had some kind of a pedophilia dunjo in a pizza shop in D.C. The guy rides from North Carolina to D.C. to go handle the business, couldn't find out it's nothing but a conspiracy. You remember when they kept saying, what about her emails? What about her emails? Well, what's going to follow Trump is what about the Epstein file? What about the Epstein file until it gets released? Rich people, if you don't want a war to come on you guys, because it's already happening right now, people in New York are so sick of you fuckers. They voted in Mondani, who has a great populist message that supports everyone, but favors middle class and poor, whereas most presidents have favored the rich. And you've got rich people claiming they want to leave New York to go to Florida. And if they do, other people will step in and his policies will take a place. So, rich people, if you really want to support the middle class, support wealth taxes, higher income taxes. You're never going to do that because you already think in your mind that you can trickle down what you have, and that's not enough. Push for stronger labor laws. You're not going to do that because that's going to affect your bottom line. Publicly back universal health insurance. We know you're not doing that because you've enjoyed what Trump has been doing. Invest in human capital, ladies and gentlemen. They can be building affordable homes, not just luxury condominiums. Provide equity investments in Black and brown entrepreneurs and poor-run neighborhoods and businesses. Share power, not just resources. But if they give up the power, ladies and gentlemen, they don't have as much say. And it's only up to us to go out here and vote to take that power. And we have to vote to defame the politicians who are bought by that power as well. And when we get on the subject of Trump and his divisiveness, as Homeboy said, you would forget about it. Let's go to a clip of Trump being just completely divisive with Cory Booker and one other person in politics.
On another subject, two Democratic senators now, Cory Booker and Alex Padilla, have a new bill out. They want to require CBP and ICE officers to have legible IDs, and they don't want CBP or ICE officers covering their faces. Would you ever sign that?
Well, they wouldn't be saying that if they didn't hate our country, and they obviously do. I'm surprised that they would do it, knowing a little bit about them.
Okay, enough. Here's the thing about this. We have ICE that has no ID.
Shout out to the ladies of the I've Had It podcast. And if you haven't joined my podcast, I've got two podcasts, The Claremont Show, podcast. You can go catch that and the YouTube channel. And then we've also got the Politics of Being Black podcast. You can catch everything and get our newsletter in beacons.ai/politics of being black. There's a link in there for you to click on all that stuff. What the hell was that? That's Trump being divisive. He just told you that Cory Booker, who, look at young Cory Booker in football. This man just said that Cory Booker hates America. That's not true. Who is deporting Americans? Who is arresting Americans without giving them the just due? Who's doing that? Is it Cory Booker? No. How many times have Cory Booker gotten on a camera and said that somebody is un-American who is just trying to protect Americans so that someone can't run up on them with a mask on, a fake badge, and pretend like they're ICE or police and snatch you off the street and throw you in a black van and do whatever they want and put things in whatever hole they want and God knows where and God knows who. That's not Cory Booker, ladies and gentlemen. That is Trump. And so at the end of the day, rich people, if you really want to be helpful to the middle class and poor, which I would hope some of you do, because some of you do, on this list of the top 5 richest people, we know Warren Buffett is down for helping the causes. He's made more people millionaires the right way than anybody else on this list. And if you want to see the rest of the people, here's a list of the rest of the people on the list. But rich people, take heed. The middle class and poor that has been so eroded, they're not going to keep taking this bull job. They're not. We're ready to cross over and have a life where our basic necessities can be met so that we can enjoy life and all the things you guys are doing, maybe not to your grand scale, and everybody don't want to be to that grand scale. But everybody wants to make sure that they can live a high quality of life with health insurance, livable wage, education for their kids, and getting these new innovative tech jobs that involve AI and become the next group of people who spearhead innovation. In order to do that, we need a good foundation that includes all the things I mentioned, plus good infrastructure. And hell, why don't you rich people just finally admit it? You tell people to hate socialism, but you never tell them how you socialize the risk in your business by getting government money. And then when you get the gains from it, you capitalize it for yourself and really don't give back to the people unless it's charity, and that's just not enough. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. Could these be some solutions for the rich? Will they ever listen to anything I just said? That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. There's the link, beacons.ai/politics of being black. Get my newsletter. You can sign up for all my links, Instagram, YouTube, the podcast. You get everything in that one link. And until the next Sex is Hell video, I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.